Tyler Hero.
Oh, it's going in. I knew it. I knew it was going in. Oh, my goodness. Just look how quickly he gets up. Michael Porter. What a golden god. Michael Porter Jr. What is up, everybody, and welcome into the MPJ Lounge.
I'm excited for this one.
Wow, of course.
Excited
for this one. Excited for this year of Michael Porter, man.
Yeah.
This is, year 3 for most players. I know this is year 4, redshirt year. Year 3
It's
is
year 3.
Year 3 is really a big leap year for guys. This is really when they make the big leap. And I think all eyes, obviously, are on Michael Porter this season for the Denver Nuggets. But here's the thing. A big leap based on what he did last year would be pretty ridiculous because the numbers last year were pretty ridiculous. Let's take a look at those numbers, Kale. Last season, Michael Porter, my goodness, there's some I was going to ask what sticks out. I'll give you, Eric, it's the softball. I'll give you the one. What sticks out about these numbers?
1.1 assists.
All right.
It's me, Brendan, and Harrison, and Adam all think 44.5% from three-point is
good.
I do think it's good. I do think that's good.
We all think that's quite good. We talked about it earlier.
Yeah. Typically, I don't like when others speak for me. I'll let it slide this time.
Look, it was almost 6.5 3-point attempts a game, and he's 44.5%. Are we reaching the limit of Michael Porter?
The human limit?
The human limit of 44.5%
of the Porter machine?
Yeah.
No, we're not. I think it can be better than that. Of course, that'll always beg the question, as we touched on before, should he just be shooting more threes at that point if it's any higher than that number? But Porter might be one of those guys where it doesn't really matter how high that volume gets. He's going to hang around, 43 plus or whatever. So, no, I think we're talking about just talent-wise, one of the greatest shooters to pick up a basketball.
How many threes a game do you think he takes this year? 6.3 last year.
Say 8.
Wow, that's a large increase. 2 threes a game is a large increase.
He better be taking 8 threes a game.
Oh, wow.
He
that
better
became
be.
a
It's so
task.
true.
Come on. He's going to hit maybe 4.
It's so true. And Jamal's not out there anymore.
True.
Jamal isn't out there anymore. There's 3-point shots that are going to be on the floor that should be taken, and why not have?
And
Michael
I don't know
Porter
if you
Jr.
heard.
take
I don't know if you guys heard. The Nuggets want to take more threes this year.
increase their pace.
I don't know if you heard that. Yeah, they want to get up and down, play quicker, shoot more threes.
I didn't
What
hear
also sticks out to me about these numbers, though, is also the 19 points per game, because that's kind of a sneaky lot for a second-year player who was forced into a third role. He wasn't, if he was just a sophomore on a bad team, 19 would still be pretty impressive. But the fact that he was doing that on a team that already featured a 1-2 punch and had so many other pieces around is pretty remarkable. One way you could put this is that he stumbled into 19 points a game last year.
Exactly.
And by the way, in the back half, that was closer to 22, 23. And to me, that's the number that stands out. When we talk about can he make a 4 or 5 point per game improvement, you're already starting at 19. You go up to 24, 25. Now you're in Yoke's territory. It's pretty crazy what he can do.
Didn't know where to go, didn't know where to stand, couldn't catch the ball. 20 points a game,
Yeah.
45% from 3.
Got played off the floor defensively.
Sometimes, yeah. So, all right. Well, we're all pretty high on Porter. Who would have guessed?
I'd
Let's
say.
ask the big question. We've kind of danced around it.
The
big question. Such a big question. What would an MPJ leap even look like? What would that look like for him to take a leap? Eric.
That would be getting into the mid to high 20s from a point standpoint. It would be having consideration for being an all NBA player in the conversation for being an all-star.
But what does that look like, though? What
it looks like is him becoming a complete player. It looks like him
love that.
not being, again, taken out of
Right.
situations where his defense can be exploited. It's not being able to be knocked off of his spot so easily, not being treated sort of like the pretty boy that I think people just look at him and assume he is, and sometimes he actually played that way. He has everything that you need. He is a Grecian god. When I saw him in person, I was personally offended. I was like, Why some with so many and me with so few? Why is this? But to see, everything that he's got and everything that he can be, he just needs to. And I've pointed this out before. I've heard the Phoenix guys talk about Michael Porter Jr. in just such a dismissive way, which to me is crazy. But the perception of him around the league and and probably rightfully so, is that he's just not a complete player. And it's just about being able to fill in the gaps and then continue on the trajectory he's already on with his strengths.
What do you think, Harrison?
I think Eric made a lot of good points. It's about him. Yeah, I know. Crazy, right? It's about him like not making a terrible defensive gaffe,
Right.
where we know, oh, that was Michael Porter Jr.'s fault, and like everybody in the arena knows it. It's about him not making a lot of those this season. It's just about him, like Eric said, becoming a complete player, doing the little things, like making sure he's locked into the details. Making sure he knows where to be on every play, making sure he's not getting exposed defensively. And then also, if he can go to 23, 24 points a game, that would constitute a leap as well.
Yeah, that's a leap. I agree with and respect everything you guys are saying. Disagree. That's getting greedy. If Porter turns it, then you're talking about one of the best players in the league.
If what?
If he improves everything.
Oh, if he becomes well-rounded, yeah.
For me, like... Here's my Porter take, and it goes back to what we were joking about with the 19 and not. If he just turns into that 24 points, 7 rebounds, 40 plus from deep, if that's all he can ever be, my God, that's a positive asset.
Yep.
That's what so many guys can only be. There are players of that mold who have entire teams built around them.
He's on a max contract now, though. So and this is the thing about signing a max is then you get judged a little bit harder.
And he's not the only. In fact, he'd be the third in the proverbial pecking order on this team, right? So sometimes you have to take care of the dirty work in that role as well. I'm just saying, guys, if he's up to 24 points a game and he's shooting the ball that well, like that's a leap.
Yeah, but if he averages 24 points a game and he still has like a couple plays on defense a game, when you're like, what is he doing?
Right.
That's going to be really disappointing.
So
this season.
So I'm with you, Harrison. The whole like well-rounded, does he have to do everything? I'm not so sure about. I do think the defensive lapses need to continue the downward trajectory, and maybe a little bit more than they went from year 1 to year 2. Like he needs to show even more exponential increase on just the mental lapses part on that end. But I think actually I could simplify the offensive end and just say he finds ways to score, more ways to score. Right now, coming off of screens, off of cuts, off of offensive rebounds, and then a little bit of like dancing with the ball when he gets a mismatch, but not that much. I want to see if there's a little bit more pick and roll to his game, a little bit more post, a little bit more post or mid post to his game. If he becomes a little bit more dynamic, then there's more things as a team the Nuggets can build off of those things, and I think he has the foundation for those. I haven't seen him make the leap on those things yet. He might have done it this summer. I just haven't seen it yet, and that's what the leap would look like to me. Why don't we segue now into the most calming part of this series preview, where the cool winds blow. Massage corner, the cool winds blow. And how much more of a cue do I have to give on these? I don't understand it. Like, there it is.
Easy breezy Sunday. Oh, there we go. Got my morning coffee.
See you later, IBS.
That's not how I want to open wind chimes, but here we are.
All right, wind chimes. Harrison, are the streets talking about MPJ?
The streets are talking, and I'm glad you ended that last segment with, like, I don't know if he's made improvements in this area. We'll see. I'll tell you this, talking to people around the team, when you ask them about Michael Porter Jr. paying attention to the details and the little things and, like, making sure he's running to the corner on fast breaks, things that Mike Malone have talked about, limiting the defensive gaffes. Talking to people around the team, they say he's more locked into those things than he's ever been while in Denver. He is more locked into those parts of his game, definitely more so than when he came into camp last year. So if you believe that, like, that is really, really encouraging. It seems to me like he's really come around to the fact and accepted, like, all right, I'm on a max deal right now. I need to clean up all these little things because that's what's expected of me as a max player. I had people tell me too that, like, Michael Porter Jr. is using his voice more too.
Interesting.
Like, I don't think he's going to become like a leader of the Nuggets this season or anything.
But more confident in where he belongs.
Right. But
Okay.
I've heard that he's more confident in putting people in their place, making people, get in line than he was in years past. And I do think a lot of it is that has to do with him getting that max contract.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have to say, like, when we heard Tale there was going to be a series called Curious Mike, all of us froze. We were like, oh no, like, what is this going to be? But I have to say, like, as it has progressed, like, we've learned a lot about what actually drives Michael Porter Jr., what he's motivated by, and like where he actually sees his trajectory and his place, not only in the league, but in the world. And
strong agree.
It's been refreshing. And it actually, he is a person that like actually appears to be driven by greatness, which is
100%.
all that you really want from somebody you're cheering for on your professional basketball team.
So. Love that. Yeah. I think that's the one thing, and we've really banged this drum, I think, over the last year or so, but Michael Porter, by all accounts, and even just, I mean, I think we all have this opinion from observing him. I think he really wants to be the best possible version he can be of himself. Not the specific ideal he has in mind of like, I'm going to be Kobe, I'm going to be this.
Right.
Yeah.
But just this thing of like, I get so long to play this game and to learn about it, and I'm going to try to just like learn as much as I can and do as much as I can, and then let the cards fall where they may.
Well, that changed for him when the injuries happened.
Yep.
He had the opinion that I want to be the best player in the league. I want to be better than Kobe. I want to be a Giannis, Kevin Durant hybrid.
Right.
And like, if you talk to him, and he's told me this, but he still wants to be the best player in the league, but that's not his only goal. He wants to be better than he was the next day.
Right.
And I think you can see that in a lot of the jumps he's made every single season so far. And a lot of that, he says, comes from the perspective of not everything is given. And there are these things that happen, like injuries, that are out of my control. So
Absolutely.
I think that's interesting.
Love it. Great win, Chimes. Let's now go to over-under.
Oh.
Super fun to play a little over-under here with Michael Porter. Our first one, what do we have here, Kale? 7 3-point field goal attempts a game. We teased this out, so he took 6.3. Harrison predicted 8.
I've got to think this is over, man.
I said this
If
one
this
too.
isn't over, it's going to be a disappointment if he doesn't go over that, I think.
Unless he's getting to the rim a lot. I mean,
but can you see that, really?
But
yes,
also,
I can see him getting to the rim more. I can.
I can see it more, but not enough to where he shouldn't be taking one more three-pointer.
Yeah,
a
but
game
like
more.
everybody can get to the rim, and only Michael Porter Jr. can shoot 45%. So he should not.
Twos are worth more than threes last time I checked.
Yeah. All righty. We all go over. I like it. Now, if he's going to shoot a lot more, guys, career average is around 42%. What about this one? 42% from 3.
Oh,
I'm going to go under.
I'm going under as well.
What, dude? Those are clown takes, bro.
All right.
Well, he's going to be taking more threes. He's going to have more defensive attention this year, much more than last year. Not even just a little bit more. Much more defensive attention this year than last year.
Yeah, I'm with Harrison. I don't think it's much lower. I think he's a 40% 3-point shooter.
Yeah,
maybe on
41,
like 7.5 attempts a game or something. So the numbers go up. Maybe the degree of difficulty even goes up, and he still shoots a great percentage. But 42 is.
Dude, all I know is that every game that we watch Michael Porter Jr., we're like, God, he's having a terrible game. And you're like, oh, he's shooting 50% of 3.
Yeah. It's like
100% of the time, we're like, oh, he's 4 of 8.
he's off tonight. What's he got? 16 on 4 threes. Like, all right, well.
yeah. I feel worse about 42 if I didn't just watch him do 45.
That's so true.
Yeah, I'm taking the over.
All right, what do we got next? Oh, this one's so fun. 192 3-point field goals made. Why 192, you might ask, guys? Well, I have an answer for you. That would be the single season record for the Denver Nuggets made threes, currently held by Jamal Murray. Last year, 170. In a 72-game season, he makes 170. 192 would be the Nuggets record.
Above.
I'm
He's
going
over that.
way over on this one.
He's going way over.
I'm going way over on this one.
I think just doing some simple math, if we're saying he's shooting 8 a game. And
Yeah, that's
he's
true. We
shooting
should do this one. Yeah,
45%,
do it. Yeah.
I think if we're saying over, then we have to stick with our guns.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
a
gonna play a
record
lot.
prediction.
But here's what's fun about that, guys. I mean, that's a cool record that, obviously threes have become a bigger part of this, but it would be pretty special, I think, for a third-year player to come in and set a new record for that, especially a 6'11".
Yeah.
Third-year player to set that. Could be a special year.
Like,
in that
what the
regard.
Nuggets need? They need a shooter. We need some more shooting on this team.
3 and D. 3 and D.
No, they don't. They have shooting.
All right, next one. What do we got? We got a lot of over-unders for Michael Porter. 22 points per game.
I like that. That's tough.
This is tough.
I don't even think it's that tough. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little too high.
I mean, I think you're right.
I'm
It's
so
just
high on
extreme
Michael Porter.
confidence and like a big jump. dude.
3-point jump? I don't know. He did it. Here's why I'm so confident with it. He did it last year when Murray went down.
Yeah, he did.
So he's already actually done it, and that wasn't a 3-game, 5-game stretch.
20 games.
20-game stretch. So I just
24 points per game. That's my prediction.
so then you went over. That was not
yeah, I
that
did.
hard.
I did go over.
So
All
he's
right.
going to make the leap.
He's gonna make the leap. All right, here's the last one. It's a hard one, guys. 2.5 40-point games.
Oh.
40-point games. Is he just a consistent, steady 25 a game guy, or does he have some big ones?
He's going over. What? Get that shit out of here.
I'm with Eric. I'm with Eric. I know.
What?
I
You know
think he
what?
gets
No.
two. I
No,
think he
he
gets
gets two
two.
also.
No, over.
Over.
gets two.
I don't
He's
even
getting
need the
three,
down
man.
arrow.
He's
Two
getting
more.
three. He might go in the first game of the
So
season,
hold on,
to
wait
be
a
honest.
minute. We have we differ by one game, and you smash.
He doesn't have a 40-point game. 37, right? That's his career high.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Nah, man. I'm taking I got to stop Tampa. Like, dude, this dude's going to go off this
Yeah.
year.
What is the high?
I don't know.
He's like 41. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
No, 45.
All
45.
right, for a little 45 piece.
I'll say he gets 50.
Man, 50's tough.
50's tough, man. 40 is a lot of GD points, man.
It is a lot of GD points.
Like, remember when Jokic scored 40 in the Garden? We were like,
We're like, he never missed. It was like all game. He just
Yeah,
kept
it was like
torturing.
it was the greatest offensive performance I've ever
If the
seen in my
Nuggets
entire
can
life.
go quarters like without forgetting about Michael Porter Jr., he can get 50 in a
Well,
game. That's
Michael,
the problem,
Michael
man.
Porter can go. Look, I'm with you. Porter quarters happened a lot last year.
Yeah.
But they just died. This
Yeah.
year, there's got to be
Just
one or
don't
two
let
games
them
that doesn't
die.
die. Yeah. 20 point one corner,
By
and
the
then
way,
10 points a couple other times.
I have a humble suggestion for extending these Porter quarters. Keep giving him the ball.
Yeah, that's
don't
part of it.
don't
It's part
stop
of it.
giving him the ball.
That's part of it. All right, guys. Our final free segment here. Bold predictions. Bold prediction. Final free one. You know what? I'm going to start over here with vote this time.
Michael Porter Jr. will post the best 3-point percentage in the league in this season.
Is there a qualifier for this amongst people to take like at least 3 or something?
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Whatever.
Gorgie Dieng's
the
1 for 1 has
what's the
100%.
normal-
Ryan Scalabrine.
Whatever normal thing you would have to clear.
Let's
season
say
minimum.
let's like 4 threes a game because that some guys take like hardly any.
Yeah.
But
so I think
4
like
threes is
Marcus
like,
Morris shot 47 something
Yeah.
percent from
That's
3.
true.
He took around 3 a game, I think, last year.
okay,
Maybe
so we'll
a
say
little
you're
4 a
right.
game.
Right.
4 a game
You're
is like
right. You're
actual
right.
players.
You're right.
Actual players.
4 a game.
4 a game. All right. He'll
It's a
lead
bold take, but I mean,
You could see
it's
like a 47
on the table.
Woo.
Do you guys want to know something? Do you know who has the
No.
second highest of among active players, the second highest 3-point percentage in the league?
Is it
Career?
Michael Porter?
It's Michael Porter Jr.
Really?
Now it's a much smaller sample size, but again, we are talking like here are the other names, right? Seth, Cho, Steph, Duncan. Like we're
Yeah.
talking about this group, and I think Porter is just getting started.
I love it, man. All right, Wind, you got something bold for me?
I think he's going to be an all-star this year. And
Man, that's really bold.
That's an
Is
expensive
it?
take, by the way.
That is a really expensive take. No, it's all NBA, right?
he's got to be all NBA to get the
All-Star's
kicker and the
a
salary.
little easier. All
But
NBA a little harder.
All-Star is a stepping stone to all
Oh,
NBA.
you know what? We want him to be an all-star. I guess what do we care about his? I want him to get paid, so whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I just think, look, there are a couple factors here. One, I definitely think the contract's a factor. Michael Porter Jr. knows if he gets all NBA, he's going to get even more money this, on this contract. Is that a motivating factor for him? Of course it is.
Right.
Secondly, look, if he averages 24 points a game, like everybody on this panel thinks he is, if he makes a ton of threes, if the Nuggets are a good team, like a lot of people or everybody on this panel thinks they will be, he's got a good shot at being an all-star. He just does.
Eric.
So I believe that he will play to the level of his max contract in the same way that Jamal Murray did, like where everybody was like, why did they give him a max contract? This is premature. Why did they do this? This was silly. I think that he's going to quiet
Unquestionable.
all of his
Unassailable.
doubters. Unassailable. Like he's going to be a max player in the eyes of all. Like no one questions Jamal Murray being a max level player, even though he was awarded that contract in the exact same fashion that Michael Porter Jr.
Great
was this
take.
offseason. He's going to just like the light and the spark that I've seen in him just in this early portion of this new season, you can just tell that something inside of him has awakened. Like he has, in the same way that Jokic and Murray, we've seen players take that leap in the third year. Like I just see him feeling not only comfortable, but like understanding who he is and not like sort of trying to find it on the court. Like now it's just going to be, like just pushing the gas. So
When do you think this will become consensus? Is it playoffs? Is
when he
it
makes
halfway?
the All-Star team.
I
What do you
just,
mean?
think, I just think it's going to be. We're going to hear the chatter early, and we're just going to die very quickly, and it's just never going to be another topic
I
of
agree.
conversation.
My bold take for him.
Great points today.
This is a little esoteric here. He will have a 5-game stretch of 30-point games. Now,
Okay.
does that sound crazy? Like, oh, that sounds mild. Jokic
No.
and Murray each have a 3-game stretch of 30-point games. That's their record. I think Michael Porter gets a 5-game stretch. This is why I'm not so sure about the 40s, but I do think he can get hot where it's 30 a night for a while.
Yeah.
And it's just almost
and
always-
honestly, if he's scoring 30, that's probably a blowout win for the Nuggets
that's
anyway.
the other part of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he has a 5-game stretch of 30-point games.
I can
with
see
it?
it, man.
I think it's
I'm
really
with
hot.
It.
It's really bold, but it's a good one, man.
It's kind of middle.
It's good to be bold.
Yeah, it's good to be bold. All right, go ahead.
I'm bold.
Should we
for
just
all
sit
of
here
it.
throwing out or bold takes for another 10 minutes?
Like Porter is just I'm so excited for this season. So excited.
All right, guys, that does it for the free portion of this. But on the other side, we're going to hit some mailbag questions, some great mailbag questions, and also the list, a film study deep dive by myself, looking at Michael Porter from the preseason. You're not going to want to miss it. Become a member, $5. You get a free T-shirt. You get access to all of our premium content for an entire year. You also get member discounts at the bar and our merch site, all kinds of great stuff. Worth it. Members, we'll see you on the other side.